What did Jesus say about divorce? This is Red Letters, a series where we are going over the red letters, which are the words of Jesus, the words that he directly spoke, and laws for us to uphold. And today, we're going to go over when he talks about divorce. This is kind of a hard subject in our day and age, because people find a lot of reasons to get divorced. But I want to read to you the red letters where he speaks about it. And then I have a study that goes along with it so that we can break it down and understand really why he said these things and how we can implement it in our own lives. I'm in Matthew chapter 5, verse 31. It has been said, anyone who divorces his wife must give her a certificate of divorce. But I tell you that anyone who divorces his wife except for sexual immorality makes her the victim of adultery, and anyone who marries a divorced woman commits adultery. I know that sounds harsh, but let me explain to you what he meant. Because when you read the Bible, context is everything. There's a lot of things that you can read in the Bible and take wrong. The Study Bible says, divorce is as hurtful and destructive today as it was in Jesus' day. God intends marriage to be a lifelong commitment. You can find that in Genesis 2:24. When entering into a marriage, people should never consider divorce as an option for solving problems or a way out of a relationship that seems dead. In these verses, Jesus is also attacking those who purposefully abuse the marriage contract, using divorce to satisfy their lustful desires to marry someone else. Jesus said that divorce is not permissible except for sexual immorality. This does not mean that divorce should automatically occur when a spouse commits adultery. The word translated sexual immorality implies an immoral lifestyle, not a confessed and repented act of adultery. Those who discover that their partner has been unfaithful should make every attempt to forgive, reconcile, and restore their relationship. We are always looking for reasons to restore the marriage relationship rather than excuses to leave it. Are your actions today helping your marriage grow stronger, or are you tearing it apart? Let's talk about first where divorce comes from, because in the Old Testament, it was made and created so that a man could not just throw his wife out. A woman back in the day really didn't have a lot of security. She had to have a husband for a lot of reasons. It was created to keep marriages together, which really contradicts what people think divorce is now. Divorce now is a way out. It is the loophole. But we read and we understand that God created unions to be forever. When you take that vow with somebody and you vow to be with them till the end of time, but then times get rough, which they will. There's no marriage that is perfect all the way through. If there is, then I've sure not seen one. But during those rough times, in order to stay together, those vows have to be made. Because when times get tough, it would be very easy just to leave and go find something else had God not wanted the union to look this way. So, with all of that being said, I know that it sounds very harsh where it says if you divorce and you marry someone else, you've committed adultery. What he meant by that, I know I already explained it in the Study Bible, but he meant that if you leave your wife or your husband for someone else, then you're committing adultery. He said this as a rule, right? He's making a rule to say that you shouldn't just go and marry someone, make this commitment, and then a few months or years or however long later, you find something better or you find something different, and then you leave your wife for that person or your husband for that person. So that's what he meant by here. That's what he was getting at. He doesn't mean that if you have been in a marriage and you had to leave because of something horrendous like abuse or something that that person committed that was unspeakable acts, those kind of things, he's not telling you that it's a sin if you divorced that person and remarried. That's not what he was saying at all. He was trying to say that if you leave them for reasons that are silly or petty or just to have something better for yourself, then that is committing adultery. Marriage is created to last. It is a bond between a man and a woman. There's a lot of context behind this. for a lot of different reasons. But God not only created man and woman to be together, He also created rules. There's a lot of things in the Bible that explains how a godly husband and a godly wife should look. And a lot of people these days do not uphold those rules. Therefore, they're not a godly husband and they're not a godly wife. First, there should be every effort to fix it. You should put God first in your marriage, and you should try to work through it and try to help that other partner become the godly person that God created them to be in your relationship. But if they cannot uphold it, and if there's no way that they're going to change, and it's going to cause you to stray away from God because of how they are, that's called unequally yoked. And if you're with somebody that's unequally yoked, and you are a believer and they are not a believer, the Bible tells us to try to stay with them so that they could see and finally accept Jesus through you. But there does come a point, right? There comes a point where you don't spend your entire life trying to change a person that's not going to change. Am I saying that you should divorce a person for that? Absolutely not. I think that God is just trying to explain to us to stay together in whatever ways we can make it work. God is a God of love. And if you're with somebody that doesn't have any love, then I really don't think that God is going to condemn you for having to leave that person after trying for so long. But this is all just my opinions. And all I have to do is go off the Bible. Divorce is hard for a lot of reasons, but it tears families apart and it breaks a union. So before you consider divorce, try to read the Bible, see God's opinions about it, let His Word guide you to the correct path. Divorce is not a thing that we're supposed to use as an easy way out. It's actually quite opposite. It's one of the things that's supposed to keep you in a relationship rather than provide a way out. I hope that this helped you today understand just a little more on what Jesus meant when He spoke about divorce. And I will see you next time on the next episode of Red Letters.